Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's Darkest Timeline. And unfortunately, this is, certainly starts out as a dark episode, talking about a dark time. So there's, unfortunately, a little bit of darkness at the start. And then moving on to New Year, which is a little bit late at this point in time. New Year's been and gone for a while. But it was New Year, or had been New Year at the time this was recorded. Plans for 2026? No, not resolutions? Is that right? Yeah, none of that. TV, movies, additional things of watching, and computer games are all here. So yeah. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Obviously, the one we like the most. Share the podcast around. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, the Darkest Timeline. Hello. How are we doing today? How are we doing this week? How's life treating you? Oh, there's an old calendar on my desk. That's absolutely not going to help me find out when the Formula One podcast is going to start this year, as it is December 2025. That needs to go in the bin, or more importantly, the recycling. How are we all doing? Are you well? Are you good? Are you recovered from festivities / New Year / all of that? I'm still in the past, obviously. I'm in the point in time where I have only just got into day one, week one-ish of the year. Obviously, as it has been recently, something that I don't like to start with, but have been starting with more recently, is if for any reason you are not okay, feel free to reach out to us here at the podcast. You can do that in any way: social media, email. Just drop something and say hi. And if you don't feel like you want to reach out to us, but you do need to reach out to just literally anybody. It's better that you reach out and, just say hi to someone. It is genuinely okay to say that you're not okay. Especially to us here. We'll listen. So, how's the year treating you so far? We get to do all those, I wouldn't say hilarious things, but how's the year been treating you? I marked the true going back to work, because if I'm honest, I've already been back to work, but I marked the true going back to work by booking some time off. Yeah, just not. I was not ready for it. I am not ready for it. I was saying to somebody at work today that it's very much you're in that kind of, how many more years have we got to do this at this stage of the... Yeah, years ago, I used to book. I used to go and book to have tattoos done in February, or book for a special occasion, try and get a gig in, or just something to take the edge off of the fact that you're here we go again. But yeah, I won't dwell on it too much, because like I say, I'm in the past, you guys are in the present, or even the future. Let me grab some Need some sort of glove / mitten / I don't know what these are called, but they're very warm. To go with my furry trousers and my furry top. Yep, I am essentially all fur. In the last week, I have unfortunately been to a funeral. It's kind of a dual kind of thing. I was going to pay my respects, and I was also going to support the person who had arranged and sorted and was essentially doing the funeral. And because of that, I was like, right, I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be supportive. I'm going to, I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to get emotional. And I did quite well. I did fail miserably in my self-imposed task, which it was one of those. I managed to hold out until sort of the back end, and then there was a lot of picture. There were a lot of pictures I've never seen. I've never been to a service like that. It was a small service. It was in a different room, one I've never been in. I think it was like a small service room, a little bit more intimate. Series of people that were there, and different. It was different. The biggest sort of issue, the problem, if you like, was as far as things like that go. It was quite a nice. It was a nice service, but I really struggle with. I think everybody. I don't think it's like I don't think it's strange to think like, what will people say about you at your funeral? Who will be there? Who will attend? What will people say about you at your funeral? And I'm a bit like, shouldn't we be saying this to them when they're alive? Shouldn't we say, hey, I just want you to know, this is how I feel. This is how this is what you mean to me. This is what I think of you as a person. In some ways, bad or good. You could give somebody the opportunity to change something. So, yeah, I struggle when it's all it's not when it's nice, But it was nice service. I just felt it was a shame to have to be there for that reason. Went to the wake, and that was pretty much as you would expect. Sat with people, chatted, and reminisced a little, and met people I've never met before, met people that I've met in the past, chatted and stuff. It was, in a lot of ways, it was nice, but it was nice, but I think I would say there. Something that's almost an aside. I just can't stop thinking about the person that passed. I just constantly like, I wonder what their thought about this would be. I wonder what they think about this. I wonder what they would have thought about this. I wonder what their take on this would be. I wonder what was going, what they were thinking at that point in time. And and I thought it was bad previously. I thought there'd be an element of, I think we as people think you go to the funeral of somebody and you're like, okay, it's closure and you've put it to bed, and like certain people will just carry it with them forever, and other people will sort of, for want of a better way of putting it, some people will go to the funeral and then they'll just, walk away and carry on, and it's everything in between. And I was very much like, you've got this devastating piece of news followed by a very bad, a very dark time, followed by these points in time where you're like, this is going to happen at this point, this is going to happen at this point, this will happen at this point, and as you cross each one of those off, you come out the other side, and I think there's this feeling of some sort of closure, some sort of like that part of life is done, and there's that thing about if you remember people and you talk about people, that then those people are still there and they're still with you and they're still part of life, and those sorts of things. I feel like this person has ingrained themselves into my day-to-day, into my, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to make a meal, or I'm going to it's hard to explain. It's like it's everything and nothing. It's like, I'm going to cook. I wonder if that person, I wonder if that's a meal that person would have thought, or how they would feel about that, or did they like this item, or I need to walk the dog, but it's snowing. Can the dog go out in the snow? I wonder if that person would have known the answer to that. And there's a lot of like the unanswered stuff that you never really get when somebody passes. The like, what did they think about at this point in time? What did they think about on the day? What did they think about on, things you find out afterwards is like, there was like a shared birthday thing and all these sorts of things. And I think about all of that more now than I did 1, 2, 3 weeks ago. Some things I just play over and over in my mind, and I'm like, what about this and what about that? And I'm speaking honestly. Part of me is wondering, like, is this going to resolve itself, or is this who I am now? Or do I carry this with me? Funerals are a strange thing. I went to a funeral many moons ago. I went to a funeral and got there, and we went in, and weird looking back, I felt fortunate that I managed to get a seat, because there were that many people there that all seats were full, all wall space, aisle space, back of the room, and out into the corridor and outside there were people, and I was like, that's insane. That is such an amazing thing to show just how much that person meant to so many people. And I could see it from that person, from the way I knew them and the way that person was, who they were. Not a single thing about it surprised me. I was like, yep, that is exactly who that person was. And I carry that thought with me. I carry that person with me. I see this thing every now and then that reminds me of that person, and certain other things that remind me of that person. And like I was saying, you keep people around, you keep them alive, you keep them, going as long as you think about them and you remember them. I remember my granddad's funeral. My mum had this friend went to the funeral, and just like, obviously the funeral that I went to last week, not the only funeral I've been to this year, unfortunately. I typically listen to a podcast that was talking about how the older you get, more funerals you go to. It's an unfortunate thing. Just yeah, it's been strange. It's been odd. It's been I've spoken about it at length on talked about it at length on the podcast. It's been difficult, and certain elements have got easier and other elements haven't. And I am spending X amount of time recently thinking, is this it now? So I went to a funeral, I went to a wake, and I came home. And a part of me wanted to get back to life and get on and get some normality going for the day. So I was like, right, well, I'm going to go home and I'm going to do what I do, which is I'm going to work out. And that was that. But I was just in such a complete funk. I was just in this kind of, I need to do something. I need to make a change. I need to do something that's different. I need to do blah 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 blah. So my solution to this problem was to make some impulse purchases. Who could have seen that one coming, other than everyone? I've been saying for ages that I was gonna, I wanted to upgrade my watch. I feel as an item outside of my earphones, which I think I spoke about not too long ago, talking about how I upgraded my earphones. And for all that I ummed and ahed and up and down and whatever, hands down one of the best decisions I probably made. So there's that. So I wanted to upgrade my watch because I use my watch every day, multiple times a day. And there was all this it's 4 generations old at this point, and it's going to make a big change, it's going to make a big difference. I was able to get it at a price that I was, I don't know if comfortable with was quite right, but I managed to got a deal, if you know what I mean. So there was that. I was like, I'm just doing it. Did it while I was working out. Didn't need any sort of anything really. I was just doing it whilst working out, pressing the buttons. Next thing, it's like, it's coming tomorrow. I'm like, there we go. That's that done. But it wasn't enough. It did not smooth the edges. And almost unfortunately, there has been a situation recently where the increasing prices for computer components, it doesn't seem to have any sort of end in sight. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Anybody that I know who's into computers is like, you absolutely need to replace, upgrade, etc. So I was like, do you know what? You only live once. Fuck it, let's do it. Because computer I had my eye on and had for a few weeks at that point in time had gone astronomically through the roof. However, a friend of mine was like, I found this. It's exactly the same as the one you're looking at, but it's the old price, so the price that you were prepared to pay for it. Get it now, they're going to realise and they're going to change the price. I ordered new computer, so in the future, not anytime soon, but in the future, podcasts will be coded and uploaded from a new computer in theory, but like I say, not anytime soon, because from the point in time I ordered it, they added 11 days to the build and delivery time. So that was fun, because they were like, oh, it's going to be I think it was like 7 days was the maximum when I ordered it. So nearly a month, as it turns out. So yes, watch this space for me ranting and raving about that for the next month, because silently really disappointed. And I appreciate a lot of factors, one of which being is the possibility that I got a bit of a like almost like it's a bit of a steal on the computer itself, because it should have been a lot more expensive. I managed to somehow, using some sort of black magic, managed to get it a lot cheaper than it should have been. So that doubling back, got a new watch. Just as in case you're unaware, I don't generally tend to use product names. I'm not here to advertise products or speak highly or badly one way or the other. However, generally the way I do things is I strongly allude to the product I'm talking about. I got a new watch. It turned up the next day, which was awesome. It's bigger. It was 2 mils bigger, which is causing issues with the strap. I'm going to have to take another link out of the strap, because it would take my old strap, which was cool. Bigger screen means more information, right? No, there is so far differences I've noticed. Number one, it now tells me that it is syncing my run, walk, workout, climbing session to Strava. That's it. From that side of things, that's it. Number two, seems to have a better battery life. Number three, seems to register movement, and especially the stand one, better in some ways, worse in others. Today I had a situation where it was like telling me that I'd not been stood up at certain points. And I was like, no, I'm sat down at work. So, no, but previously, my previous watch would have registered that I was like moving around whilst working type thing. And that's it. And I looked at the money I'd spent, and I looked at what I thought I might be getting in some sort of, 4 generations later, and an upgrade, and blah, 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 blah. And those are literally the only benefits I can tell you. And I go, so how much better is this than my old one? Because my old one was doing the job. And then I start heading off down the route of this is technology now. Technology is slightly better than it was. Slightly better. So what's the point? Somebody said to me today, like, your phone looks a little worse for wear. I was like, to be fair, it's a screen cover. I drop my phone on average 30 times a day. Now I know what you're thinking, well, that's clearly an exaggeration. It isn't. It it isn't. I don't know what has happened recently, but if I could get paid for dropping my phone, never have to work again. So the screen protector is smashed to bits. But at this point in time, I was replacing screen protectors at one point daily, because I put a new one on and drop it, and it would get broken, and I'd replace it. Now I'm like, well, at least if this one gets another crack in it, it's just one to go with all the others. Again, I'm like, okay, get a new phone. For what? The only thing that I could possibly think would be better was I'd have to hope that the camera was better, because the camera on this phone is shit. It's fucking garbage. And the issue I've got with that is that the phone that I had before it, the previous model, the camera on it was amazing. So what we also get with the technology is every now and then it's worse. Anyway, that's just me being a snarky little bitch because I spent X amount of money on something new and didn't get anything really from it. It's bigger, I guess. It does mean it's more difficult to fit into my jacket. Since we last spoke, I personally had New Year's Eve. Now, we all had New Year. We all had New Year's Eve. We all went through that process. But for me, it only happened in the last week. So I'm going to talk about it, and you're going to be like, bro, that was weeks ago. It's nearly February. Somebody asked me today, did you have a good New Year? I was like, it was standard New Year. They were like, did you go out? I was like, I haven't been out in about 15 years. I was like, my New Year is the most standard it can be. Like, oh, what did you do? I was like, let me tell you, here we go. So, kids were allowed to stay up a little bit later. Then they went to bed. Me and Leon had some food and watched a movie. And then she went to bed. I put the PlayStation on, play a computer game until 5 to 12, which I was like, balls, I don't really want to go through to the living room to put the TV on and go through all that. I can probably get it on my phone. So I managed to get, I thought it was BBC, but it turned out to be Sky News on my phone for the ball drop. Literally 3 minutes to. I was doing all that. Got connected a minute before. And then the bells went and the fireworks started. And about 2 minutes into the fireworks, I was like, yeah, we can be done here. Because as we know, when dealing with large firework displays, everybody's bored 2 minutes in. Fireworks went on for 12 minutes. 12,000 fireworks were let off. I think around about the 2 minute mark when I got bored, I was like, just exactly how much money are we spending on this? Because I know it's a hell of a lot of money. It's taxpayer money. I was like, we should get a petition going to make the firework display 2 minutes long, and whatever money we save from it, we should take that money, give it to the NHS. That's my opinion. I think that's what we should do. Fireworks went off. A lot of fireworks went off here. More fireworks went off here. I turned the news stuff off on my phone, played PlayStation for a little bit longer, and then I went to bed. There you go. That was New Year. Spoke to a lot of people. Some people did we had people around. Oh, did you? I didn't get an invite. Lol. Some people were like, I went out for a drink and then went home. Right. Okay. And that's basically it. I know, like, some people had gone to the Minster. I know some people were just, like, in on their own and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, is there a point where you can just say, I think we're kind of over it as a concept. I was talking to somebody at work last week who was saying that they'd gone out for a drink on, it was either Christmas Day or Boxing Day. So they went to their local pub that had opened at I think they opened 12 o'clock, is it? But they're only open for 4 hours maybe. Anyway, and they said they went into their local pub and it was empty. They said there was them and one other person. I was like, I remember going to pubs Christmas Day and then being quite busy. I know the concept behind it was it's an old, outdated thing about the men go to the pub while the women cook the dinner. Like I say, old and outdated. Because in our house, it'd be the complete opposite. The women would have to go out while I cook the dinner. It was massively anticlimactic and a huge letdown. But what was I expecting? What was I looking for? Pretty much what I got, really. It was very much, this is my standard New Year. And then New Year's Day, there was X number of grand ideas for New Year's Day. And I think by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we were a bit basically over now, innit? So that was that. Well, here we go. New year, new me. Let me ask you this. You guys are 3 weeks in the future. Anybody that set out to do the new year, new me, and anything workout related or diet related or amalgamation of the two, you're at the point in time now where most people quit. So let me ask you this. Are you still doing it? Just putting that out there. I have not done New Year, New Me. I have done New Year, same me, but 2.0. Last year was very much a case of I was sick and tired of being in a rut, just going round and round and round in circles, and it was time to make a change. And honestly, I made quite a drastic change. And if you've not been here for the last year, go back and check out those episodes. I lost 4 stone last year. Somebody said to me yesterday, I hope you don't mind me asking, but can I ask you a question? You can ask me anything. And they were like, how much weight have you lost? I was like, in total, I've lost 16 stone. They were like, wow. I was like, I weigh less now than I've lost. Wow, that's incredible. That's amazing. And no drugs. I was like, nope. No drugs. I'm good, thank you. I didn't set out to lose 4 stone. I set out to lose weight. I set out to achieve the thing that I've been trying to achieve for 10 years. So that was that. I said to somebody, I was talking to people yesterday, I was like, 10 years it's taken me. 16 stone in 10 years. It's more than a stone a year. Look at it that way. So, there we go. By the time I got down through the 4 stone, I knew a series of things. Number 1, I was probably at my limit. My jeans are the smallest they've been in about 30 years. My T-shirts, I said to my eldest daughter, I was like, I have never had T-shirts in this size, because I went from T-shirts that were in ages to extra large. I never had T-shirts that are in the size that I'm wearing now. I've had to have a new coat. I've had to have a new belt. I am at the point now where this is kind of, presumably in a lot of ways, this is kind of me. So, there's that. And then there were these sorts of things. I got down like through a few different clothing sizes. I got down through a few other things. But there were things that were starting to sort of rise to the surface. The way I've been doing it, the way I've done it up to this point, and the way I keep doing it is not going to be sustainable. It's basically not sustainable now. I'm hanging on for dear life at this point in time. Some days are horrific, are awful, are terrible, and some days are fine. And the irony there is that the days that are awful and that are terrible and whatever are the eating days. The days that I can handle, the days that I can deal with, the days that are fine are the fasting days. But it's not sustainable. The next thing on the list. Recently I've become very stagnant as a climber, and I've decided that I wanted to push myself. I wanted to set a new low bar and say, this is a basic standard, this is where I should be, and this is what I should be aiming for. In the gym, some developments, changes and whatever, as would go in line with working out 6 days a week and losing weight. Put those two things together, you're going to see some changes. But not enough, so that needed changing. And this is kind of a small one, but a big one, but a small one, but a big one, and it just keeps going round and round and round. One of the goals that I had for last year, which was only partially attained, but was very much a half jokey, half serious goal, was I wanted to be able to see or start to develop or do whatever was needed or whatever to see abs. I wanted abs. Part of me knew it wasn't possible, part of me thought that it might be possible, and part of me just wanted to see if it was possible. So there were all these different things going on, and then the year ended. So what happened? What's gone on? What's changed? What's developed? Well, I have done 2026 the year to get shredded. How do we do that? New equipment. New equipment was purchased for Christmas, through Christmas and beyond. There is equipment for abs. There is equipment for the gym. And those should help with a couple of sides. I'm going hard on trying to get the abs. I'm going harder in the gym. I've increased all the weight in the gym. I've changed all of the setup for weights and barbells and dumbbells and all of the stuff that was in there. It's all increased in weight. And from a climbing perspective, I went and ticked off a load of routes that I've been fighting with for like a month, all in a day. So, what does this look like going forward? Well, I'm not doing new year, new me. That's not it. I'm doing continuation. Because 2025 was just the first part. Lose some weight. I think we can all agree 2025, tick, achieved goal. 2026 is to what to do from here. And what to do from here is work out harder in the gym, work out harder on certain body areas. There are certain areas that need work. Work out harder climbing, work out harder in the climbing gym, some would say. Something that I would like to get back to improving is my running. Running has very much taken a back seat over the last year or two, I would say. I go out there, I do a 5k, and I think that I'm done. But then every now and then I'm like, well, what about doing a 10k? And I'm like, oh, don't know about that. Seems like a lot. Need to get away from that. Need to get back to, okay, it's time for 10K, I guess. I've recently had some achievements running wise. Fastest 5K, fastest mile, fastest 2 miles. Those have all been in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, time to improve. I did an absolute one of the fastest runs I've ever done. Not from a stats perspective, just from I ran too far away and didn't have enough time to get back. And was like, well, we're in it now. Let's get freaking moving. And I ran. And I made it. So, yeah, you could say, new year, new me. No, not for me. I'm saying, new year, old me. Just carrying on, improving, getting better. Run further, faster, longer, harder. Lift heavier for longer. Better. Been doing a lot of research into the better way of lift. I did bench this evening and I was getting the back arch going. In incline dumbbell bench press, getting the dumbbells to the shoulders and really slowing it down, especially the last couple of reps. All these sort of tips and tricks and things like that. Climbing. There was a point in time where I would never leave until I'd achieved anything. And I feel like that's fallen away. Time to get it back. Time to get back. I can't leave until I achieve. It's like it rhymes. Now then. I will say this. Something's come up recently. A couple of things, a couple of podcasts I've listened to. A couple of podcasts, one where the person's like, what thing are you avoiding in your life? You should look at that and you should do it. You should run towards it. You should tackle it. And I'm like, uh-huh. And another podcast I listened to is talking about like finally taking the time to address like your big problems. Like if you go through life and you chalk off all the little problems, eventually you're just left with the big stuff, and ultimately you have to sit there and deal with it. There is a part of me that goes, what is the one thing in my life that I need to change? And instantly I know what it is. And there's the one part, then there's the part of me that's like, what's the one thing that I really need to work on? And it's the same thing. And I think that working out harder, running faster and longer, climbing better, trying to get shredded, trying to get the abs, trying to do all of those things. More pull-ups, that's another one. My pull-ups have slipped a little. Doing all of those things is actually a deflection, so I don't have to do the one thing I know I should be doing with my time. So yeah, that's it's kind of on the cards. It's kind of something that I should probably do. I had a live demonstration of why I should do it today when everything went to fucking shit, and I dealt with it well. I dealt with it real well. Dealt with it in the kind of way I would deal with something. It was a good time. Fuck. Finally, today is the 5th of January. And I honestly thought I'd escaped. I honestly thought I'd got away with it. I honestly thought, hey, we've won. We won the year. We won Christmas. We won New Year. I did not get hit with the surprise gift. I managed to narrowly avoid the surprise gift when I got an inkling when someone was like, oh, where are you going to be when you do this? What are you going to do this? Where? And I was like, let's get an emergency gift just in case. and let's tailor that emergency gift towards that person. And that way, if they then go, I got you a gift, I can be like, and I got you one too, buddy. And that was exactly what happened. And I was just mopping the sweat from my brow going, dodge that one right there. 5th of January today. I got hit with a surprise gift. Not gonna lie, I was fucking mortified. Not because somebody got me a gift, and it's a very nice gift. No. Because I thought I'd managed to get through the entire thing. It's the fucking worst. Because I had to do your gift is at home. Thinking, I have a gift at home for you. However, it's the 5th of January and I didn't think we were doing gifts, so I have just put it over to one side. And if I needed it, I could have brought it with me today. Motherfucking surprise gift. You know the other person knows. When you go, yours is at home, lying bastard. Absolute lying bastard. God, that fucking feeling. The pit of your stomach just falls out and you go, no. Surprise gift. Fuck you. So yes, got hit with a surprise gift weeks after Christmas. We've been watching some stuff in our house. Watching a bit of stuff. We started Twisted Metal. TV series. We watched the first episode. Not gonna lie, we were not enamoured with it. And I said, hey, hang on. This will technically be the pilot episode. This will be the episode that they will have taken out to TV companies, etc., to get them to buy it. This doesn't necessarily mean that this is what the entire series is like. I think we should give it another go. Episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 later. Apparently we're still watching it. It did get better. Not by much. But it did get better. It very much. There are 2 episodes left of this series, and there is another series either coming or I'm sure the conversation I had the other day was that it's on its way. Twisted Metal. Oh wow! It says season 3. Do. Oh, it's long gone. Okay. So there is a second series. I presume that must be on there. Twisted has been renewed for season 3 by Peacock. With production changes. Oh. There appears to be a trailer. Okay. So there you go. Shows what I know, kind of thing. Season 2 must be available, so I presume we'll just go straight into it. See, episode 8. Strange, because there was a big change in episode 8, which makes me think there's going to be some sort of big change or shift towards the end of the series, because there has to be. It'd all been fine, ticking along. Nothing massively positive or negative. Sweet Tooth is absolutely the best character in the entire series. Until somebody pops up in episode 8 and I just went, now we're talking. Now it's about to get good. And I mean really good. Because at the point in time, Jason Mantzoukas pops up. You're like, here we go. Now it's going to get real good. He was in line with the sort of characters that he normally plays, but not quite as outrageous as usual. Still cool, still good times, fun, all of that. Like I say, a couple of episodes on that one. I imagine we might get those done tomorrow to finish series 1, and then we can go from there. Now then, with watching what I'm sure we can agree is a lot of one series, it doesn't leave a lot of space for other things. Now, what I will say is what's nice about Twisted Metal is 25-minute episodes. You can do 25-minute episodes. Easy. You don't bat an eyelid at a 25-minute episode. Often, when I'm dealing with stuff that's like TV-based stuff, I often wish that more things were 25-minute episodes, because I just struggle with the motivation to watch an hour plus of TV. So 25-minute episodes are my absolute jam. What I will say is this: I've watched another episode of Series 3 of Tokyo Ghoul, or Series 4 if you like. I watched episode 16. I think I started 17. And in theory, I should get more of those in now that I'm back to more of the day-to-day routines. It's fine, but they've fallen back on... Oh, the thing that was missing was all the characters from the previous series, so they've just brought them all back, like all of them. I think at this point in time, there might be one character who might be dead, but I don't think so. I need to look at that and find out if that's true or not. The episode's fine. A twist was revealed. It was all very dramatic and whatever. Like I say, I think I started 17. Didn't finish it, so I wouldn't review it. Movie. And this is the point in time when I remember what it was me and Leon did. New Year's Eve. After all this time of fighting it, I had to stump up the cash to pay for the Formula One movie. A film that we both really wanted to see. It was just too expensive and had been for a very long time. However, it never came down in price. And due to subscription type deals, we basically resigned ourselves to it. Was never going to come down in price because it's designed around driving a subscription. So in the end, we were both like, let's just pay for it. We worked on the principle it would be good. It would be something we'd watch again, something we'd watch maybe with one or a couple of the children, and so on and so forth. That, if I'm honest, is often the downfall of these things. When you say, we'll definitely watch this again in the future, we'll definitely watch this more than once, we'll definitely get a lot of use out of it, so we should probably pay for it, you should already know what's coming. The F1 movie was fine, by the way. Couple of minor details. It's made by the people that made Maverick, a film that I have tried wholeheartedly to hate on multiple occasions and just can't. I can't find a way to hate it. People I spoke to who I knew would be like, that film was fucking garbage, were straight up like, that film was fucking fantastic. And I was like, what? So there you go. It's made by the people that make Maverick, using the same technology, putting actors in Formula One racing cars. We are big fans of the film Rush in this house. And all of these things just pointed towards this film's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be whatever. Like I say, these are often where the downfalls come in. Film was fine. Film was great. The racing was good. There were genuine points where my heart was racing. Hair standing on their ends, just like a big cheesy grin on my face, the full package. There were also times when I was fully rolling my eyes. It's one of the most exhausted tropes, I think, going. The young rookie upstart, the old grizzled veteran, they don't like each other, but they realise that they've got to get on to achieve. And by the way, I don't know if you know, but corporations are the bad guys. I didn't know if you knew that. It's never come up in anything ever. But apparently they needed to crowbar it in at the back end of a 2.5 hour movie. It ticked a lot of cliches. It ticked a lot of tropes. It ticked a lot of, now we need to do this, and we need to pop a montage in here, and we need to speed this bit up but slow this bit down. And as I often say with these films, the worst parts of these films are the people. You know, in Maverick, yeah, it's great when they're all playing football on the beach, but you want to see the planes. In Formula One, you want to see the cars, you want to see the racing, you want to see the driving, you want to see the expertise from that side of thing. You don't really care about what's going on off the track. And I think when filmmakers forget that and go, we've got real rich story to tell, but it's just cliches after cliches after cliches and something you've seen a million times before. We don't need that story. We've already seen it. So it really suffered from that. So 1 minute you're like, oh my God, I can feel my heart pounding. Oh, this is fantastic. Look at the camera work. They leaned on a certain camera angle, trick, whatever, way too much, I noticed. But then at the same time, I was like, I mean, if that's something you have access to, you would absolutely use it. I just wish they'd used it less. By the end, I think it's when you're hoping for 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10 is almost unachievable. You're hoping for 9 out of 10. You'd settle for 8.5. When you're given 7, you're like, that's not what I wanted. And you pay money for it, and now I have to sort of go to, certainly my eldest and like, you like Maverick, don't you? Well, this is made by the same people. She'll be like, oh, right, okay. And I'm like, yeah, it's about Formula One racing. She'll be like, And unfortunately, there is an element of that, whereas I don't, I produce a Formula One podcast. Straight to the Apex, if you've not checked it out, please do. I listen to the Straight to the Apex podcast every week when the season's on for 2 reasons. One, I want to make sure they don't say anything that they shouldn't. And 2, I genuinely enjoy it. To me, it's not only one of the best podcasts we do as a network, it's one of the best podcasts out there. It has the absolute best mix of knowledge and expertise, passion, humour, and 3 guys that want to get together and talk about something that they really enjoy. It's such a great combination. I used to be a massive Formula One fan. Many, many moons ago, I used to be a massive Formula One fan. And it just, as a sport, as a motorsport, it just got away from me, unfortunately. It got to the point where I was like, this isn't, that whole, this isn't your father's Formula One kind of thing. For me, it wasn't my Formula One anymore. And I was like, I'm just going to have to let this one go, I'm afraid. It was fine, but it wasn't what I wanted, and it wasn't what I hoped for, and I think that's where I was let down. And all you can say to that is then maybe your expectations were too high. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they didn't do quite a good enough job. I'll leave that one up to you to decide. Watch it, let me know what you think. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'll happily listen to you. Another thing, and something that I feel like I've not spoken about at all in recent months. I think I mentioned it briefly around Christmas because I like to watch stand-up comedy around Christmas. especially when I'm wrapping gifts. I watched Tom Segura's latest stand-up special, Teacher. I watched it in 2 parts, though in fact that's not even true. I watched it in 3 parts. Those 3 parts were, I watched the first 10 minutes and went, I'll come back to this. I watched, I think it was like an hour. Not an hour, no. 45 minutes or so. In a big chunk. And then I watched the last 10 minutes. The same day in the evening. It was fine. I need to go back and watch it again. Unfortunately, for me, and unfortunately for the way that I am with certain people, certain things, certain subjects, certain whatevers, I've gone off Tom Segura a little bit recently. I think it's one of those things when you rise to a level of fame where you're very famous, very rich, very powerful in some ways. That word has different sort of connotations and things, but can be applied. You have a tendency to forget where you came from, forget who put you there, forget the little people, forget your fans, and you start making decisions based on, not on what's right for the people that support you. You start making decisions what's right for you, which is fine. You're at that level. But I often find that it's not always the best decision for everybody involved, let's say. Obviously, Tom and Bert often come as a package, but not really so much these days. You don't get Tom and Bert anymore. 2 Bears, 1 Cave is not Tom and Bert because they have guests all the time. And it's a real shame. I think that Tom is looking to make this move away from comedy as well as other things. I think podcasting may be one of them. And Bert may follow suit. And there's a lot of talk at the moment about, I won't sugarcoat it. There's a lot of talk at the moment about the death of podcasting. So yeah, not a great sort of theme of things. It made watching somebody's stand-up special difficult. However, giving it the time that it was due, I found it to be enjoyable. I need to go back and watch it again. I need to sit down and watch it in one go and take a little bit of the edge off it. And by that, I mean the edge that I'm putting on it by my own personal feelings, and see what comes of watching it a second time. It was fine. It was good. Speaking of things that are fine, I've played the Deadpool VR game a little bit more, and it is fine. Another one of those things on a list of, you can kind of see why it went on sale so soon. I imagine they have not sold the copies of it that they were hoping, and I imagine that there's probably some reviewers out there that are probably not reviewing it quite well, and I imagine that they're probably hiding those reviews at this point in time. When it's got Marvel splashed across it, we all know who that really means. It's super lacking as a game. It's very repetitive. There's no bite. The weapons, like when you use the swords, you don't know if you're hitting enemies, you don't know if you're doing any damage, you don't really know if they're doing anything. And the guns feel really fucking weak. You've got grenades, which you forget to use, and you throw them and they do something. And you've got a grapple gun that for ages I forgot I had to load part of the game twice. Because I had absolutely no idea what I was supposed to do. And then when I was like, oh shit, I've got a grapple gun, maybe I should use that. Turned out that was absolutely what I should have been doing. What I will say is this. Ghost Rider, spoilers, turns up. And that was the best thing to have happened in the game up to that point. Ghost Rider turns up, is super cool, is super well done. All of his bits were great. And I was like, maybe there should have been a Ghost Rider game. Which, weirdly, the game then jokes about. However, that then led you to a on-rails shooter part of the game where, very much like the opening of the game, I don't think you have any real impact on at all. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to sugarcoat this one. I feel that this has to be one of the biggest ball drops I've ever come across. In any situation where you are given the name Deadpool, it's got Marvel attached to it, it's in VR, you should knock it out of the park. The level design, great. The actual design of stuff is fantastic. The punch, the bite, the thing that's going to make it a great game is completely missing. There was a bit in one of the levels I was doing, and you're going like round and round like almost like a spiral staircase, but it was like a spiral room. So you keep going up after level, and every bit was fight these two different big enemies. Rinse and repeat the entire way up this thing. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then, like I say, you fight tiny little monster, demon things. It's like, if I hit you with the sword, do I know that it's doing any damage? If I shoot you with this gun, is it going to make any difference or effect at all? Who knows? You can pay for upgrades to your weapons. They don't seem to do anything. They just look different. Again, I'm being a sour little bitch because honestly, not the game I was hoping for. Finally, although there have been other bits and pieces that I'm just like, well, I could go on all day. You know that. I played and finished Chronos New Dawn on the PS5 this time. I will say this, the second to last real boss, I think I'll say, because there are other bosses. The second to last real boss gave me some real problems. When I finally did it, I had to go super, like, run and gun crazy pants. And then I came up to the final boss knowing full well pretty much every way to deal with that boss, because A, I've done it multiple times, and B, the first time I did it, I died so many. It took me a week. I told you that at the time. It took me a week. So I actually got the final boss done a lot quicker than I got the second to last main boss done, which in some ways is a little ironic, and in other ways it kind of makes sense because of the way that I've played that game previously. Straight into New Game Plus. However, I am probably going to have to put it onto a back burner game. I recently got a whiteboard to keep track of all the games I've got to play and what's next on the list type thing, and it was terrifying. I think in PlayStation games alone, I could probably make it to June. In VR games, I could probably then make it to August. And from August, if I then jumped over to Steam games, I never need to buy... at this point in time, I never need to buy another game. That is not even a joke. I could just jump into the Steam library and live there forever. So, because of that, we are unfortunately going to have to move on from Chronos and have it as a back burner game. I need to move on to some of the other stuff I was bought for Christmas. What I will say is this, there is one exception, but other than that, don't let me buy any games this year. I'm not allowed any. I've got plenty. So, look forward to hearing about all the games that I've got over the last year that I'm going to spend this year playing. What I will say is this: there will be a changing of the guard coming up, because if I ever get a new computer, then there will be a shift. So the computer I'm currently talking to you on will make its way to the games room and become a gaming PC. Not that it isn't already, but it's more for this sort of stuff. And the new one will become podcast and VR more, I would have thought, PC. But hey, it's not like we have to worry about that for the next few weeks, is it? Right, there we go. That is me done. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And I will catch you next time. There we go. What do you think of that? Another one done. Another one gone. Big thank you for watching. Big thank you for listening. Big thank you for being here. Before you leave us, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. And check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we have social media links and an email button. And that way you can get in touch with us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Until next time, I'm going to say bye. And I'll see you then.
You've just listened to another episode of Cookie Cast. Thanks for listening.